All right, let's jump right in. Shall we today? We're taking a deep dive into changing futures in Surrey. We're going to try to figure out how it works to support vulnerable individuals, you know. And we've got some awesome sources to guide us. Excerpts from the Healthy Surrey website, some UK government documents specifically about changing futures itself, a few details from the National Lottery Community Fund, and even a peek into the College of Lived Experience Recovery Organisation's website. I think you might be surprised by the origins of this whole program. So let's get into it.
It's really interesting how Changing Futures approaches something called multiple disadvantage, basically. The idea is that it's not enough to just address one problem at a time, right? Like this home is homeless. You can't just focus on getting them housing and ignore everything else that might be going on. You know, things like substance abuse, mental health struggles, domestic violence, even contact with the criminal justice system. All of these issues can be connected, and the program gets that. So,
It's all about seeing the whole person, not just one problem at a time. That makes a lot of sense. But before we go any further, I'm curious, where did this program even come from?
Changing Futures actually started as a national program. The Ministry of Housing Communities and local government and the National Lottery Community Fund, they got together and invested a huge amount of money to get it going, like £77 million.
Wow, that's a pretty serious investment. So this isn't just some small local initiative, is it?
No, not at all. It's active in 15 areas across England, and thankfully Surrey is one of them. Surrey actually put in a bid for funding, and they got £3 million to specifically support people who are at risk of becoming homeless.
So, we've got this big national program, but how does it actually play out here in Surrey? What makes it different or special?
Well, that's where Bridge the Gap comes in. It's Surrey's own service that operates under the Changing Futures umbrella. One thing that makes it unique is its trauma-informed approach. What that means is that they don't just focus on the problem someone's facing right now, but they also take into account the impact of any past trauma on that person's current struggles.
So it's not just about putting a band-aid on the symptoms. It's about getting to the root of the issues.
Exactly. Another key point is that Bridge the Gap isn't run by just one organisation. It's actually a collaboration between several different groups, like Catalyst, Guildford Action, the Hope Hub, and more.
It's a real team effort, pooling all these different resources and areas of expertise. That's pretty cool. But I'm curious, what does this support actually look like for someone who's struggling?
Well, they have a system of key workers. Basically, imagine having this dedicated person who works with you, provides individualized support, helps you find housing, get access to healthcare.
It sounds like they really tailor the support to each person's unique needs and circumstances. That's got to be really helpful.
Absolutely. They even have this thing called the CO, Occurring Condition Support Pathway, and that's really focused on making sure people have access to both mental and physical health care. And they do it at a pace that's comfortable for the individual.
So it's a holistic, integrated kind of approach. I like that. But does this personalized support actually lead to good outcomes? You know, do they have any success stories?
Oh yes, absolutely. The Healthy Surrey website tells the story of a man named Steve Saunders. He was an aircraft engineer whose life was completely turned upside down by alcohol addiction, but Bridge the Gap helped him to get his life back on track. And now he actually works for the program, supporting other people who are going through the same things he went through.
That's incredible. It really speaks to the power of this program, doesn't it? It's not just about getting people back on their feet. It's about giving them the tools and support they need to become part of the solution.
And that leads us to another really important piece of Changing Futures, the idea of lived experience. It's something that both Bridge the Gap and an organisation called the College of Lived Experience Recovery Organisations, or CLERO, emphasise.
Okay, so how does Claro fit into all of this?
Well, CLERO is all about making sure that the voices and experiences of people who've actually been through these challenges are heard. They believe that recovery strategies should be developed with people who have lived experience, not just for them.
I see the connection now. Bridge the Gap focuses on personalized support and empowering individuals. And Clero is pushing for that same emphasis on lived experience, but on a much broader scale.
That's it exactly. And Clero works within a human rights framework. They advocate for something called recovery-oriented systems of care. Basically, these systems are built around the idea that people should be active participants in their own recovery journey,